Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Estrella podcast. My name is Danielle Miranda, and before I get started in introducing today's guest, if you would like to learn more about the Estrella platform that is launching soon, please visit estrella.chat, where you'll receive exciting new information and upcoming news of the new launching. Now, for today's guest, I'm really excited to introduce spiritual medium Guy Isabel. Hi, Guy. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Daniel. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I absolutely love your accent. May I ask where are you located?
I am located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I'm a
Oh,
Canadian, by the way. Yes.
how wonderful.
Yeah.
I had said, I was literally talking to somebody the other day, and I had said that I was in Montreal just last year. So
Well,
it's beautiful there. I really like it.
it is a beautiful city. It really is. And what I like about it is, it's a multicultural city, and there's a lot to see there. We have what we call the old Montreal, which is like the city in the 60s,
Oh,
100. So that's beautiful. They kept all the buildings at that time, and it reflects the life of those years. That's very
yes.
impressive. Very impressive
Yes.
to visit.
I was
Yeah.
actually in Mont Tremblant, which
Oh,
is stunning.
north. Yeah,
Very beautiful.
yeah. North side of Montreal. Beautiful place. Environment is wonderful. The mountain, the trees. It's a four-season resort,
Mm,
Montreal. Yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful. I am so excited to interview you today because you are going to be the first spiritual medium that I am interviewing that hones in on his gifts and is able to help his clients through your handwriting. And I'm so excited for you to share what this specific type of handwriting is called and how you use it to help your clients.
Yes, yes, you're right. I am a spiritual medium using automatic writing called mechanical because there are different kind of automatic writings, right? There are by inspiration. You can do it by mechanical or any other modalities that can allow you to write something, write messages you get from the spirits or the spiritual world. And for me, basically, I'm a channeler. So I do channeling and I write messages through automatic writing called mechanical automatic writing. What does that mean? Is when I write, okay, don't know what I'm going to be writing. It's not by inspiration. So the spirits will take control of my hand and will start writing letters, words, sentences, and finally messages. So that's very powerful. I like it very much because it's a close communication with the spiritual world that you have when you practice that modality of communicating with the spirits. I just love it. And you know what it brings to my customers or clients is that some are calling me to get messages from past loved ones, or some wants to know what direction they should go in their life. Um, so when we do that kind of session, when we start a communication with a loved one or any kind of spirits on the other side, we first never know who's going to show up and talk through channeling. We just don't know, right? And then they will start giving messages for that person. Sometimes it's a person that was in their life, a loved one, basically. And some will be giving advices in life where they stand, where they should go. The beauty of it is what I like very much about doing channeling is that not only you get communication with loved one, but it also for yourself to get to know you better, right? And That's the most important thing. Is, with all the environment we're living today, with misinformation, uh, the society is telling us what we should do, who we should be, what we should think. So we tend to forget who we are. So
Mm,
basically, getting messages from the spiritual world is putting you in the right direction. On, don't forget, you are a person, you are a soul in evolution, and this is, your soul is telling you what you have to do, what you should, practice in life, what you should develop as far as qualities, or any direction or career that you should start to embrace, and not necessarily what other people are telling you to do, right? So that's
mm,
the beauty of it, is getting to know you better, because I've noticed that a lot of people are lost with 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 what we live today,
mm,
and they need direction. And how is that beautiful, to get direction from your best friend? The spirits, they love you unconditionally. They are your best friends, right? They are
yes.
always there, and always there to help you, guide you, and tell you what you should do, what you should, what kind of direction you should go, because we tend to forget what are the qualities we have, what are the abilities that we have, because we're looking around us and we see other people around, and we kind of find it very beautiful, or we kind of uh, we tell ourselves, oh, they're lucky, they can do this, they can do that, they're very lucky, or they have been lucky because they were, their parents were there before them, right?
Mm,
But you should not think that way. You should think about who you are and listen to your heart. So the best way to get to know you better is start listening to your heart. And if you
yes.
can communicate with the spirits world by being able to listen to your heart, because that's the way to be able to communicate with them, is to be able to start to listen to your heart, and that way you will start changing. I used to say, I am working on a program that is your journey through spirituality, and that's your spirituality for a better living. All right,
Mm,
that's basically what it is. Once you embrace the spirituality path, right, and you kind of start developing your spirituality, you will start changing. Your
mm,
mind will change, your behavior will change, you will attract different things in life, and that's for sure, right? Because you are changing your thoughts, the way you see yourself, you're changing the way you see the people around you, the life, and the consequence of it is that you're attracting different things in your life, because your mind is changing, the way you
yes.
think is changing, right? so
Yes.
so that's the beauty of it, and that's the gift you get from starting to develop your spirituality. And I want to teach people how to develop that aspect of their life, and
Mhm.
also to be able to start channeling the spirits in the spiritual world. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Great information. Guy, with the mechanical style of writing, is it only words that you get downloaded, or is it symbols and numbers as well?
um, what do you mean,
Like
Daniel?
when you're doing your mechanical writing, do
Mhm.
numbers come into play? Are you writing down numbers at times? Is there maybe a symbol that one of your clients would recognize if you're putting that on paper? If that makes sense, what I'm saying?
Yes, 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 definitely. I do write, text, stories, words. Not only words, but it's a text, right? They're going to be talking like we are talking now. It is a text. Like if you if people go on my website, they will see samples of what I got as far as messages. So if they go on my Instagram page, they will see example of messages I got from the spiritual world, all kind of spirits, definitely all kind of spirits there. They
Mm,
will themselves if I am entertaining a communication with a client. So they will start, telling stories about who they are, what they should do. That person is good at doing this, and that. She should work at developing that aspect of behavior to attract what she is looking for in her life to achieve her goal, right? Um, as an example, we all have spiritual guide, right?
yes.
And I can tell you we have more than one, right? And I have 12, by the way, okay? And people might have, you know, I'm not a fast learner, so they had to be more than one to teach me what I needed to be taught.
Yes.
So I have 12 spiritual guides. Some might have five, six, 10. The number of incarnations you have, they told me the number of incarnation I had since now. So that kind of numbers can show up if you ask, right?
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
the kind of question regarding numbers have been asked in the past by clients, by the way. Not other information with numbers that I was asked other than that. But they won't tell you if you ask me, can you get the information as far as how many weeks am I going to have this or that happen?
Mm,
For me, it didn't work that way. They
I
never
see.
told me that. They never said, oh, well, yeah, your life will change in 2 weeks.
Mm.
You're going to win the lottery in 2 weeks.
Right.
No, I didn't get that kind of information, so that won't work because
Yes.
they want us to do some homework
I was
as
going to
well.
say, it sounds like what you're saying is, if I'm not mistaken, that your spirit guides, when you're working with a client, instead of giving direct yes or no answers, they actually give you tools to get to the client to be able to work on themselves, to be able to
Absolutely.
teach
Yes.
themselves how to grow
Yes.
or get out of a situation, how to
Yes.
manifest. I
Yes.
see. So it's more of a teaching, which I
Yes.
think is very beneficial, because at the end of the day, the goal is, I'm sure for some of your clients, is to get out of whatever cyclical pattern they're having, or whatever setback that they may be going through. The goal is to be able to overcome that
Yeah. Yeah.
and come out of the other side better than they were when
Yes.
they were in the situation.
Yes. Absolutely. They won't. They don't want to let you be sitting between two chairs by saying a yes or a no. There will
Yes.
always be explanation to what the situation is, why, what you should do, and how you should do it, right? In order to kind of realign yourself on the right path to develop your quality or your behavior that are in alignment with your soul, right? Because
Mm,
sometimes it seems kind of very very easy to do. We take it for granted that we should do this and that, but at the end of the day, sometimes we feel very overwhelmed, and we have the impression that we didn't accomplish anything
right.
because we listen to other people like crazy without listening to our heart. Yeah, for some reason we need to listen to other people, but we also need to listen to what our heart is telling us, because
Mhm.
your soul is talking to you through your heart and your feelings, right? And most of the time we kind of shut down our feelings, but we shouldn't, because that's our soul who's talking to us, right?
Yes.
And when you feel something, when you feel happy by doing something, as an example, when you look through the eyes of a person, and and you kind of admire that person for whatever reason, you are vibrating. Your heart is vibrating, and and so your soul is vibrating, telling you
Mhm.
that it likes it, and what you see, you have
Yes.
in your heart, in your soul. So you should kind of embrace that direction or embrace that example and express it and make yourself move forward in your life. But if also you look at the situation where you don't like it, you kind of feel in pain when looking at something that is not good to you to
Yes.
watch, it's because you went through it yourself,
Mhm.
either in your actual incarnation or in previous incarnations.
Yes.
So it's very, very your heart is a very good teacher. Your heart and your feelings are a very good teacher because it makes your soul talking to you that way.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very well said. Guy, you had mentioned previously that there are multiple styles of writing. How about how many styles are there besides the mechanical?
Beside the mechanical, there are several modalities of communicating with the spiritual world, right? So not only by handwriting, but the most common one are by inspiration and mechanical. Okay, so those are the two that I know as far
Okay.
as using handwriting, right?
Okay.
Other than that, you have some will hear sounds, okay, some will see spirits without hearing what they are saying, but they will just see it. Some will hear without seeing. It's kind of a very, very large diversity of modalities that are used.
Hmm.
And they are all good. They are all good. It's just the one that you have to express. If that's mechanical or if that you see the spirits, if you can hear them, it's very good too. For me, what I like about mine is that it's the handwriting is not my handwriting because my handwriting is very bad. I very, have a very hard time. I have a very hard time to kind of reread what I wrote. But their handwriting is beautiful. It's the calligraphy is wonderful.
Oh,
Have a look
that's
at some of the example
wonderful.
here. Yeah,
They help you use calligraphy when you're actually writing to your clients. I like that.
yeah. And when I do, I write pages and pages when I do a session with the clients. I write pages of messages, which is some kind of a story that they're telling me about that person. So what I do is I take a picture of it, of all the pages I wrote, and then also do a transcript of the writing, and send those two documents to the clients, and
Mhm.
they really really appreciate it. And the thing is that it's their energy that is in their handwriting.
Mm,
It's very powerful. You just look at the handwriting, and say, "Oh gosh, that's not me. That's the spirits who
right.
wrote those messages." That's very, very powerful. You
Right.
just you just look at it and say, "Wow!" You feel. I still do feel very, very kind of impressed when I look at it,
Yes.
and that's wonderful. And I can tell you that they're all around us, and they all want to help us moving forward in our life because they want us to be happy. They really
Absolutely.
want us to be happy in life. I know sometimes it's very difficult because the world is not the way it should be, or we think it should be. There's a lot of kind of sadness around us, and
Mhm.
we all deserve to be happy. And and I think if we kind of start embracing that, that kind of life, or practicing spirituality to live a better life, and that's really what it is. That's really
Mhm.
what it is. And when you do that, right? When you do that, you will feel it. You will feel yourself changing. You will see
Yes.
yourself changing because you're going to start at one point. You were going to be sitting down somewhere, going to be looking around, and you will notice that the way you look at different things and the impression you're getting from those different things you're looking at is going to be different. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. And another sign they told me that you can kind of assess your spirituality is how humble are you? Okay.
Mm,
Yeah. They
yes.
they told me that the strongest marker of evolution of your soul evolution is humility.
Mm,
Why? A humble person will always know that there is always something bigger than himself,
mm,
right? Oh,
yes.
I found that that was very, very beautiful when they said that. I said, well, that makes sense. So when you are among different people and you listen to them, them, you watch their behavior, you can have an idea of where they sit in that regard. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. How long, Guy, are your writings when you're with a client? Have you had uh, sessions before where you written like a page, or do you do just sentences? Like, how does the structure work?
Oh, it's like it's several pages. So
Oh,
it could
wow.
be 7 pages. Like the notebook, the big notebook. 8 inches by 11, something like that.
Wow.
Piece of paper. It could be 7, 8 pages. We talk, and
And that's for one client.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Wow.
for one client. That's a 1 hour. That's a 1 hour session. And to be honest with you, I never count the minute. I don't count the 60 minutes. So no, no. We start, we go, we enjoy it. We go to the messages because I truly believe that people they deserve to receive all the information that
Yes.
pertain to their questioning.
I'm
And
so impressed because what you're basically saying is when you're with a client, they can have anywhere from 7 to 8 pages plus. That means that you are literally writing down everything that is being sent to you to give to them.
yeah.
So, if I may ask, now that that's leading to another question, is your handwriting fast? Are you writing really fast because you're receiving so many messages at once? Like, how does that work? Because that's a lot of information.
Yes, that's a lot of information. You're right. Um, I'm not super fast, but I'm good fast.
I'll take it. Good fast.
Yeah,
I like that.
fast enough. Yeah, fast enough. And so I'm going to be writing, let's say, half of a page, right, or 1 page. I'm going to be writing a page, and they have me to stop. The spirits have me to stop, and we kind of came to that agreement. So when you want me to pass the information or a bit of information to the client, that stop. Okay.
Yes.
And then, so that's what they're going to do. I'm going to be writing 1 page. They will stop. That means do the reading to the client for that 1 page, and we
Mm,
and we will then continue. So we do it that way, right? I think it's kind of a good compromise because the person who's on the other side is kind of not waiting an hour
right, right.
with receiving any kind of information. I think it's a very good compromise. So, and we also talk about what I just wrote and what they mean, what they want them to do, what kind of feeling they should have pertaining to that text that they receive. It's not just like a one word yes, no, you do this, do that. No, it's a story. It's
Yes,
their story. It's their story. So that's
yes.
the beauty there. That's what I like about it. Yeah.
That is that is something. Listening to all of this, I am surprised that you're able to take in that much information.
Yeah.
Guy, have you ever had a situation where you did a session with a client and maybe the session had 5 pages and then you had more downloads about that client after the session and you had to go back and write some more and give it to your client? Has anything like that ever happened to you?
Yes. 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 That happened a couple of times, which I did. the information came back after the fact. I don't know why. So we kind of finished the session and we kind of disconnect. And then after that, I got more for that person. Like it's like if the spirit knew that the person had other question or wanted to know more about a certain aspect of her questioning, if I can say that, that she didn't address during.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I do in those situations, so I just continue the writing and then take a picture of the writing, transcript the writing, send it back to the customer as an add-on to the
Yes.
first session. So that becomes part of the session, right? So it's one full session.
Mm.
So yeah, no, that's the way the spirits work is very very impressive. They have their own way of doing things, their of talking to us. Sometimes I was asking very very precise question, and they were responding by telling me something completely different. So I did ask them again, oh, maybe you didn't understand my question. But can you tell me this, and what kind of what could happen, what will happen? And they did not. They kind of repeated what they had just told me that had nothing to do with my question. I said, okay, I think I understand. I think I understood. I'm not ready to receive the information, and that was it. When
Mhm.
you're not ready to receive a bit of information, is that you're not there yet. You
Yes.
still have work to do. You still have lesson to learn before you get any answers. It's like being at school. When you're primary school, and then teachers telling you some kind of information, and then you have a homework to do, and
Mhm.
then you want to ask some question about that homework, but you didn't finish your homework, so they will not give you. The teacher will not give you the answer. Will say,
Right.
well, try to finish it, and we'll revisit your homework after.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Guy, when did you know that this was your calling? What was that catalyst moment of realizing, wait a second, this is not my handwriting. I'm getting my spirit guides that are helping me. Like, what was the very first experience that you had with this?
Yeah, something I will always remember. First of all, when I was young, I was a very, very sensitive person. I've always been a very sensitive person, but very sensitive, which means I had sometimes very difficult time at just listening to people talking about their own things, and I was kind of feeling very bad about what they were saying. I was kind of feeling what they were saying
Hmm.
and what they went through. So I was 11 years old, and I was reading book on reincarnation. So 11 years old, reading book on reincarnation, that's quite unusual.
Yeah. Not the norm. Not the
Not the
norm.
norm. You're right. Not the norm. So I've always been attracted by spiritual stories, like
Mhm.
watching movies that were talking about, I don't want to say the word religion, but talking about kind of, I was watching movie, the Fatima movie at one point, apparition of Holy Mary and things like that. All
Yes.
kind of movies related to that. I was watching. I was very young, and so I also studied in science. I have a degree in biochemistry, work in research, work in clinical laboratories, diagnostic laboratories, work in sales in that environment as well.
Mhm.
And I remember one day I was during the night. I had very hard time at sleeping. It was maybe
Mhm.
4:30 fall time, in the middle, more than the middle of the night, and it was very very dark,
Mhm.
because days are, the darkness is different than summertime. So fall time is very dark at night. And I woke up unable to sleep. I was looking around my room, dark all over the place. Noticed a tiny orange dot at the foot of my bed. I kind of looked at it and then looked around, dark, orange dot, dark, orange dot. I said, wow, there's something there. I kind of start looking at it closely, and it's like if that dot realized that I was looking at it. Yeah, it started to move toward me and got to my face, just a couple of inches to my face. And when it was moving toward my face, it becomes a beautiful dragonfly.
Oh,
I
wow.
was, I was in awe. I was very, very impressed. I was awake. I was awake. I was looking at it. God, wow, what happened there? So the body of the dragonfly was orange. The wings were blue, like crystal. I could see kind of through it. It was just beautiful. It stayed there maybe 15 seconds or something, and then kind of evaporates.
Mm.
So I knew that was coming from the other side. Okay. So that was maybe 18 years ago, something like that,
Okay.
18 years ago. And then I kept, having a diary. I was writing a diary every day. And I remember one day I had written a couple of sentences on my own, feelings, thoughts, what happened during the day, what I did, how I felt. And then I had my pen sitting on the piece of paper, and I felt an energy taking my hand. I felt it like if the energy was just grabbing my hand,
Mm.
started to move the pen. I said, wow. I knew what it was. I knew because I knew about the automatic writing. And I knew, I said, okay, let it go by itself. And started to write the letters, the word, and the sentences. The
Wow.
first spirit that came to me was my guardian angel.
Oh,
My guardian angel wrote me a message telling me that, well, he named itself to me, right? He gave me his name. I am such and such. I am your guardian angel, and I'm here to protect you and guide you. Talk to me.
mm.
And then I got to know all my spiritual guides one by one. And they named themselves because they have name. And they told me, each of them told me what was their role with me, right?
Mm.
And that's how it started. It started maybe, as I said, 15 years ago. And since then, I'm writing every day. I'm writing every day. I can be sitting, standing up in a crowd, and having a thought about them and say, well, tell me this. And they will. How
Right.
they will? Because I've noticed that sometime at one point, my hand was kind of crisping itself. All my fingers were kind of, crunching and things. I said, well, you want to talk to me? I don't have a piece of paper.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna ask you, like, with all that writing that you do your hands ever get tired? Do they, like, do you ever get muscle cramps or anything like that in your hands?
Oh, that's a good question. That could have been, but the answer is no, because maybe they know they're trying to help me not being
Yeah.
kind of in cramp with my writing. But no, it's just beautiful. So my when I'm in the middle of a crowd and standing up and they want to talk to me, so I will feel it in my hand too. So I'm gonna let my finger
Mhm.
go, and my index will start writing, in the air, uh, and then I know the letters they're writing and the words, of course. So they're talking to me like that everywhere I go, anytime. And and I want to teach people how to do that because we all have that gift. We are all able to channel the spirit's world
Mhm.
for our better living because they want to talk to us. That's what they told me. So there are ways to do it. So yeah, it's just a matter of, are you ready to do it? That's
Yes.
the big question. Are you ready?
Yes.
For those who are, it's possible. Yeah.
So you were guided by spirit guides to do this But my question is, do you know if there are any schools or certifications or courses that teaches people how to do this?
That's a good question. I cannot answer that question myself on that because I would not know of any kind
Right,
of school. But that's what I'm trying to do myself with my clients, and that's what I like to do. They gave me the spirit gave me, and it makes a real sense on what are the prerequisite or the pillars. What are the pillars you need to develop in order to be able to get closer to them
right.
and then be able to channel them? Okay, there are some kind of exercises that you can practice at, at trying to see what they want to tell you, what kind of messages they want to tell you. Because, as I said, the first thing would be in a course is how humble are you to
Mm,
assess your soul evolution, because
yes,
it's a learning curve that you have to go through in order to be able to get closer to them. Because when you get closer to them, you're able to hear by any means. I mean, by feelings or hearing or different kind of modalities, that you can be able to hear what they want to tell you and
yes,
the direction they want you to embrace. Absolutely, absolutely.
right,
Sometimes we're trying something that is not working, but we think that we're dumb. It is not. No, no, it's not the case. It's just the bad direction, not the right direction. We should
yes,
embrace or the wrong things we should do, because that things is not in accordance with your soul, with what you should do, because your soul has the program of your own life to be happy.
right. Yes, it does. Yes, it
It
does. Would
does.
would you say, Guy, that humility is in part the key to becoming more connected spiritually and to be able to be more intuitive and to really be able to see receive the downloads that are needed for a man or woman's life so that they can grow and evolve? Humility plays a strong role in that, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. That's one thing. That's one thing. Humility is one thing. Humility would be the tool to assess your evolution, I would say. Okay, and as I said, humility is telling you that when you feel humble about things, it's because you know that there is something bigger than you, that's stronger than you, that more
Yes.
powerful than yourself, and they like it. They like it because they see you as a person who wants to kind of serve the spiritual world, or want to express your soul, that you're listening. You are a listener. You're a good listener because you're listening the teaching, and you embrace the direction you're taking. And by being humble, you are very, very developing your listening skill to them, definitely. And the thing is also, all kind of I would say practicing meditation, yoga, things like that are a very good way, and they're part of the teaching, to get rid of any bad thought. Practicing meditation, when you are meditating, you are letting go. When you
Mm,
let go of your daily routine that you went through, all the situation you went through, you have to let go of all of that. You
right.
let go of the stress.
Right.
Okay, you free yourself from stress. Okay, and
Yes.
then you start listening to your heart. I would say, be in a very calm environment. When you feel good, there's no noise, no background noise.
Mm,
Choose a place where the light is just a dim light, um, very quiet. Temperature is just right on your skin,
mhm.
and do meditation. Do meditation and let go, because you have to let go of stress, because stress is causing interferences between you and the spiritual. That
Yes.
way you elevate your, your vibrations, and by elevating your vibration you're reaching them, because they also have to go down and you have to go up. So there is a connection somewhere that you
Mhm.
need to get to be able. And then listen in your mind. What thoughts are you having when you do that? When you reach that state, what kind of of thoughts you're having? What are the feelings you're experiencing? And are you hearing sounds? Are you hearing voices? Are you hearing, or are you, seeing images? So just take note of what are you feeling and what you're seeing and what you're hearing
Yes.
during that period of time. So those are just a couple of few elements on how to be able to develop your channeling.
Are you the only mechanical writer in Montreal?
Um, I don't know of any other mechanical automatic writer in my area. I know that
Wow.
the um, automatic writing by inspiration is very popular. I know
Mhm.
that several are that, doing it that way, but mechanical, um,
Huh. That's
no, I'm
impressive.
not aware. I'm not aware. There might be, but I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
That is very impressive. So, when did you become confident, Guy, to be open about this gift that you have that's incredible? When did you become comfortable to bring this out to the public?
Yeah, first I remember when I started to do that, I was very, very cautious about talking about it, because not it's not the kind of conversation you would have at a dinner group, or
Right.
at a group dinner, right? Like just like that.
Over a
So,
bowl of poutine?
so by the way, no, no. So I was very cautious about that, and I know that sometime when you talk to people and you just kind of throws a line of something about, that could have a link to spirituality, and the person responds in that same direction you throw that ball,
Right.
you can see that that person would be open. And also, just by the way the person might be behaving, you would know it, because you can read the body language. You can reach the emotion that that person is radiating, because that's a kind of energy we can feel. So you can kind of start slowly talking about it. Right. I remember the first time I did that. There was a guy who was very open to it, and he wanted the reading. I said, "Well, okay, let's give it a try." That was the first time. So he wanted to know something about a friend. I didn't know at all what had happened to his friend. And the first thing when we first start writing, when I first started writing the message for him, coming from that
Hmm.
spirit, the spirit name itself, right? It was not a guide. It was a person the client had known
Mm.
a couple of years before, and that spirit name itself. And I was very impressed because, so as I mentioned at the beginning, so I write a couple of paragraphs or a page, and then I do the reading to the client. And
Yes.
I started to say, well, such individual is telling you that where he is happy, everything is going well, life continues on the other side, and he wants you to do the same in your life.
Mm.
And I was very impressed because the guy said, "That's him. That's exactly his name. That's him." So I was impressed because, sometimes it's not always the case that they will tell me their name. Okay, it will be more a message coming from that spirit or that loved one, and that loved one will not necessarily name itself first. In that case, it did. In that case, it did. So I
Yeah.
was very impressed by that. And but now I started to kind of assume who I am now
Mhm.
since many years now. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm not here to convince anybody.
Yes. I love that.
If you are open to it, let's talk. But
Yes.
also to kind to add to your question, sometimes I kind of feel sad about the fact that there are not a lot of people open to it. It's like
Mm,
an iceberg, you know. A
right.
few people above the water will be open to it, but a large number below the water, under the water, will not or just don't want to talk about that topic at all
Mhm.
because they don't believe it
Yeah.
or for whatever reason. For whatever
Yeah.
reason.
And
Yeah.
in all honesty, Guy, I haven't heard of it. So, it could be that it's just not popular or well known yet. But I love that you are speaking on this today because it brings a whole new perspective to uh, receiving these messages from our loved ones or from our spirit guides or um, from that higher power. So I'm certainly grateful that I got to learn more about this style of writing today. And as we near the end of this episode, because we are out of time, I would like to ask you, do you have any websites, social media platforms, emails that clients can get a hold of you if they are listening to this and watching this and they're like, yes, I want to meet with Guy and get a reading with him?
Absolutely. Yeah. They can go on my website. My website is gisabelspiritualmedium.com. So it's Gisabel spiritual medium, all in one word, um, uh, .com. And then from there, they can get a hold of me. They can visit also my Instagram where I posted several messages there. So just for them to see what kind of messages I'm having from the spiritual world. And so my Instagram is Isabel Guy in one word, Isabelguy. So they will find me there. And then also on YouTube, they can find me there on under Gisabel as well. So yeah, they can connect with me,
Yes.
and yeah, yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, Guy, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to all of you for listening and watching another episode of the Estrella podcast. My name is Danielle Miranda once again. And if you would like to have more information about the Estrella platform that is launching soon, please visit estrella.chat. Thank you so much, Guy. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much, and you too, and appreciate the opportunity you gave me to attend your show today.
Oh, anytime, anytime. It was my pleasure. Bye.
Bye.